So we got we have a Benchmark 45 grip frame here. It has the little drop forward built in. Pretty good condition on the ano. Some blemishes over here by where the beaver tail was cut out for it. One little thing I found a little odd was this little notch. Obviously was put in after the fact. I don't know why they're there. It's not to make clearance for an Allen screw for adjustment or anything. So the frame itself looks pretty clean. And this is the original trigger group that came out of it. You can tell she's showing its age. It was obviously very rough. It doesn't seem like it's plated. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to clean her up. See how good we can get her. You can see the machining marks on there. Clean her up, see how much of a good finish, how good of a quality finish we can get. And see how the trigger pull comes out without using a roller. So we're going to go from there. So just to, we got the first stage that we're doing here. Don't look at the sear yet. So what we're going with is, I'm just using a sanding disc on the Dremel. And the first time I had it set up with the abrasive facing out, that makes it a little hard to get inside of the, on the ramp of the sear. So one of the tricks that I've learned is you just take that abrasive disc, you flip it down so the smooth side is facing up and the abrasive is facing towards you. So that way you can get it onto the ramp of the sear, onto the ramp of the trigger plate where the front edge of the sear rides, and you really can get a good clean polished finish on that. You really want to focus your efforts on sanding it pretty good before you move on to polishing, because if you have any peaks and valleys when you go to polish, you're just going to bring them out more, and you're not really going to get a very smooth surface. So pay attention when you're when you're sanding. That should be your first step, because it's going to do a bulk of the work and knock down any of the high and low spots before you start to polish this. But I only hit this with I had it soaking in WD-40 to get the surface rust off during the course of the day. And this is just with one hit on the with the sanding wheel. So we're gonna get the sear done next, and I probably got I'd say the last one I did on my free flow wasn't in bad shape, and it took me about 45 minutes. So I'd say probably about an hour's worth of work on both pieces. So I'm going to try to keep this to a make it like a 4-part series. Keep it under 15 minutes. Hope you guys enjoy. Alright guys, so at this point we got the sear is pretty much cleaned up. We're not ready to start polishing yet. And we got the ramp on the trigger plate. We got that very smooth, not ready for polishing. And we got the top running section done. So really, you really want to just focus on this top section of the trigger plate and the ramp on the plate. And on the sear, here's the sear. Okay, this contacts like this and stays in the frame. Okay, and as it slides this way, okay, it pivots down. Okay, so yeah, it is great to generally polish the whole sear, but you really want to focus on the sides where it's going to contact the inside of the frame, and really just this front leading edge. So you only really need to go from, I'd say like 12 o'clock, back down around to 6 o'clock. This whole back edge of the sear, you really don't need to concentrate on the top of it. So yeah, I mean, you're going to see here there's a lot of machining, a lot of machine marks where it was cut out. You could spend hours trying to work that flat, but really, it's really, your most gains are going to be from getting this front edge radius. So basically from this screwdriver over. So you're going to go from here down and around till about there. That's where you're going to get your most gains from really a good sanding and a good polishing. So you don't really need to go too crazy there. Some guys, and I'm not going to dispute what some of the world-class trigger jobs. I will never ever argue with Mr. Danny Love, because the guy's a genius. He's got 25 years of cocker building experience, and I would never dispute him. I know that on the Shock Tech cockers, they like to, when they do a stage 3 trigger job back in the day, they used to take the catch portion of the sear and they would file one half of it down. So in essence, what it did was it minimized the surface area for the lug to catch. So it caused a lot more, it made the release point a little bit snappier, and they can make it smoother. Me personally, I've never really had good results. Maybe it was my technique, so I'm not going to do it. But on this back edge, you definitely want to sand and polish this front side and then back here, because this is where the lug is going to be resting on. So you want to keep this as close to a 90-degree angle. You want to keep the lines nice and crisp and sharp. And you want to sand that and polish that also. So we'll start going. We're going to do stage 1 of the polishing, and then I'll do a quick little segment on the 2 different types of polishes I use. Alright, so we're on to the polishing step, and a couple people have asked around on the forums, or on Facebook I should say, what type of polish do I use to polish? Well, you could definitely use Brasso. You can use, you could use your regular green and white caulk compound. That works good too. If you buy a Dremel kit with assorted, buffs and stuff like that, it's going to come with a little, Jeweler's Rouge. That works good too. But if you really want to get a good polish, good shine, and really get oxidation out of the metal and knock everything down, you really need some automotive grade polish. Now you can get good results using Mother's or Meguiar's, a little mag polish. Comes in a little tin. Big car guy. This is something that I've used on I do car detailing on the side, so I already have this this polish. It's made by Adams Polishes. They're a very high quality company. I would not recommend, wouldn't recommend them if they weren't a good company. They stand by their product 100%, made in America. Very good company. So they make 2 polishes, MP1 with metal polish, and then metal polish 2, MP2. And you could purchase this kit, which is 2 4-ounce bottles. You get a bottle of each. And I believe it comes with 2 or 3 of these soft microfiber polishing pads. And they're good for using on, your car, your rims, bumpers, stuff like that. But in this case, I'm going to use an old one. I'm going to use this as a work platform. It's going to give me something nice. So I'm going to put a little dot of polish on here. This is a liquid polish. It's not a paste. So an extreme little bit goes a long way. And this is going to help me hold this on here. So, depending on what polish you buy, you're going to get different instructions, obviously. So, follow the manufacturer's instructions. On here, it's going to tell you to use MP1. And then we're not going to take it off. We're going to just layer metal polish 2 right over metal polish 1. So, you're going to see this buff is going to turn black very quickly. I purchased one of these sets from an eBay seller. I think this was $11. I bought 2 of them. Probably this top row you're only going to use if you're going to like be deburring metal or something like that. These abrasive wheels aren't really, they're just filler in my opinion. I don't really use them. The sanding drums and the wire brushes are huge. It comes with cut-off discs, these little sanding discs, and these right here. This is that rouge I was telling you about. It's only going to get you so far. It's usually crappy material. I wouldn't bother. And I think these are more cut-off wheels or grinding wheels. So, again, get yourself one of these kits. Get yourself some of this polish. And we're going to go from there. I'm trying to keep this under 20 minutes at this point. So, we're going to get you started. And we'll go from there. Alright, so we're getting ready to polish, and a lot of people, they don't really know the principle of polishing. Polishing generates heat. You want to generate the heat. And how do you generate heat? You generate heat by, you got to use either felt, or cotton, or wool, or microfiber, something that you're going to put polish onto. Now, if you put too much polish on, the solvent and the oils that are in the polish will end up lubricating the piece, the workpiece, to a point where it will never generate enough heat to actually work a polish, to work the finish. So you want to put a little bit on. So in this case, the pieces are small and the felt is small. Okay, so it's going to absorb into the felt. So you want to just put like a dot, literally a dot, like that. That's it. That's going to be enough probably to do the sear, and maybe I'll need to do another piece. So when you start contacting the surface with the machine, you want to go on the lowest speed possible and spread a thin layer of polish across the whole piece that you're going to be working. And then start on one corner and work your way to the end and then come back. Work your way to the end and then come back. And do a couple passes, overlapping. But it's going to be really easy to overlap this because it's such a small piece that we're working on. So that's just one of the things. I don't have a stand to hold my phone to do this. So I hope you guys kind of understand what I'm trying to say here. Alright, so we got the sear is pretty much going to be good to go here. You can see it's got a high gloss finish. There are some minor imperfections. You can go crazy and you know, if you wanted to, you can get a block, you know, and block sand this with various grits. But I feel like if you're going to use a Dremel, you're going to get good results. And the sides really just have to get cleaned up. Right here is where this is the business end right here. You're gonna see your most gains from polishing right here. You can see how shiny that is. That's gonna be it's gonna work out nice. So just one little tip before I go ahead and move on to the trigger plate is as you're using these buffs, they're gonna get clogged with polishing residue. So you want to turn it on real slow, and you just want to rake it out. So you could take like an Allen key or a dental pick or an old toothbrush, and you want to go like this. What that's going to do is it's going to get any of the caked up stuff out of there. help you during the polishing process. Another thing to watch out for is these collets that these buffing wheels go on. They thread in. There's a screw thread in there. Just be careful when you go to the front, because I don't know if you can see it in there, but it does stick out through the front, so you don't want it to mar anything. So just be cognizant of that. So we're going to do that trigger plate, and I'll give you a little update on the trigger plate, and then we're going to go on to the next step. So now at this step, you guys are going to be like, wow, I polished. Why do they still look dirty? Well, you're still going to have some polishing residue in here. But if you look at it in the light, we did a good job from what we started with. So I always like to end any type of polishing, whether I'm polishing, you know, paint on a car with a 3-step polish, you know, 3 different stages of compound polishes, or polishing metal, is you have to absolutely do a rub down with some IPA, some isopropylene rubbing alcohol. Good old-fashioned rubbing alcohol. See, I'm all tongue-tied. And then pretty much we're done. Obviously, I mean, this is going in like a kind of sort of like a junkyard build. So these are going to be going in a junkyard build, so I'm not really going to be focusing too much. But this section, let me grab another gun here. So this section of the trigger plate that's going to be exposed, you want to get that as good as you can get it, because you're going to see that. So if that's nice and polished, you're going to notice that right away. So that being said, spend a little time on that area, because it's not going to be covered by the trigger shoe, but you're going to see it in the frame. So you probably should take, you know, make a little bit of a concerned effort on getting that nice and polished, because it's the only thing that's going to tell people, hey man, this guy just put, you know, this guy spent an hour doing a trigger job, and he polished his sear and he polished the trigger plate. So you know, definitely keep that in mind when you're doing that. And we're gonna clean these up, and then I'm gonna do a little recap, and then we'll get this posted up on YouTube.